Leo, welcome to Illuminated Tarot. My name is Jenna. Today I'm here to do your April monthly reading. We're going to take a look at your overall general energy, what you may not see coming, look at the hidden truth for the months, and get some important advice from Spirit all along the way. Let's jump right in. I'm going to be using a personal favorite deck of mine that I've been using just for myself daily for a while now. I had some uncertainty whether I wanted to even share it with you all. It's a very special deck, very exclusive deck. It's not something that you'll be able to find normally. The creator of this deck only sells it on her website. I'm not affiliated with her at all, but I'm really excited to share this energy with you. It's a very profound energy that we're working with in the deck itself, as well as her companion oracle deck that we'll be pulling from as well. Her name is Jillian C. Wild, and it's the Familiar's Way deck if any of y'all are curious. And we'll go into that shortly. But first, I want to thank you for sharing this space with me, for tuning in today, for all of your support. It means a hell of a lot as I build this channel. I love all of you, and I love the community that we're building of support. Everyone is on a unique spiritual journey, and especially as we find ourselves amidst all of this astrological, I guess we're in a current, right, that none of us want to be resistant toward, and that we want to surrender to. And I'm getting a collective reading with the fire signs this morning around just surrendering to what happens. And any resistance that kicks up is there to teach us something. But because we're in a very particular time period where we are being challenged by what's going on in the cosmos as far as the eclipses and the retrograde, I wanted to highlight in the initial pull around self-care. Okay, so this is some self-care guidance. Okay, Leo, just a few little tips that might help you for the month, so you can stay grounded through these energies of change. Of some people are experiencing some upheaval, unexpected events. Okay, change is the one constant. All right, Leo. Whoop, that one wants to come out. Let's do the next one as well. Okay, you have a reflection and an inspiration that you'll be working with around your self-care. The reflection is, how you love yourself is how you teach others to love you. Famous poet Rupi Kaur, I'm not sure, gosh, I might crucify her name. I know you all know who I'm talking about. In fact, I have her poetry book beside my bed right now, the Sunflowers one. How you love yourself is how you teach others to love you, Leo. Rupi Kaur, I think. So this is the guidance. Picture what it would look like to be loved and appreciated by the world in just the manner you most desire. Channel this image as you move throughout the month. Okay? So what would it feel like, Leo, to be loved and appreciated by the world? I love that. How you love yourself is how you teach others to love you. So really focus on that this month. Beautiful. The next one is, knowing how to be solitary is central to the art of loving. When we can be alone, we can be with others without using them as a means of escape. Bell Hooks. Love her books. Knowing how to be solitary is central to the art of loving. When we can be alone, we can be with others without using them as a means of escape. So the guidance around this particular card is, take a solitary walk through a local park or on a trail as often as possible this month, okay? Embrace the solitude and appreciate the time with your thoughts. It seems to me you might have a lot of relationships that you put energy into and toward, and Spirit is definitely guiding you to honor yourself, love yourself, and take time out to be in solitude, Leo. Okay? It's going to be important. It's going to help revive you, help you calibrate to the shifting energies that we're facing as a collective this month. So let's jump into the Familiar's Way. Very excited to share this deck with you all. Jillian C. Wild, if you're curious, that is her name. I think I mentioned that before. Go to her website. It's not a cheap, she put a trilogy forward between this deck that you're seeing of tarot, the oracle, and then there's also a Shadowland kind of deck that's very particular to working through your own personal shadow work. Okay, and that's not a deck I can share with you all. That's a personal thing. All right. Thank you, Spirit, for presiding over this reading for the Leo collective tuning in. Thank you. Okay. What are the current energies we're jumping in? Woo! Wow, that one to come flying out, Leo. Ooh, a healer's intuition. Card number 2, the High Priestess. Okay. Wow. Governing the moon, right? And the phases of the moon as we are on the back end of an eclipse. A lunar eclipse was yesterday. I'm reading the day after. It was a powerful shift. Did you all feel it? What did you feel yesterday? I slept 15 hours. That's how I felt it. A lot of us are going through powerful, profound shifts emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually during this time. We are recalibrating to a higher octave of light. I've talked about this before. The light quotient is turning up, and we need to rest, okay? Taking time out to be solitary, all right? Spending more time loving yourself, being guided by your intuition, listening to the owl medicine within. I feel like this rest of this month, for the month of April in particular, your intuition is going to be your guide, okay? Something is going to be very healing for you. Maybe even you're going to start seeing your intuition as your savings grace. It's like your BFF this month, Leo. And the more time you spend in solitude, the greater the connection. Crossing it, the release of judgment. Everyone is getting this card in the fire sector of the collective is really looking at how this is about really listening. Is it your intuition or is it your judgment? So that's interesting. Everyone is getting a crossing in this deck. That's why I love this deck. It's so powerful. Every single one I've done has had 2 major arcana in the base and a crossing. So I think that this is around you letting yourself be guided lovingly by your intuition and trusting that part of you, okay? He is looking at his reflection, all right? There's something that you're deeply reflecting on this month. Look, they're both looking downward too. That's interesting to note. They're looking downward, okay? Not from a place of sadness, but from a place of surrender. Seeing beyond the 3D reality, the physicality, right? This is trusting in your own senses that are beyond your physical senses in this world. Your 6th sense, Leo. You know, in this card, he's really looking at himself. And he's allowing himself to transform with the butterfly on his shoulder. You know, it's funny. He's got a butterfly on his shoulder and she's got an owl crossing her path. You could be getting some really, really important guidance, important downloads this month, Leo. Around what is it that you need to release so you can really hone in on the intuitive healing aspect of self. Let's keep going. I love that though. You're being guided to release judgment maybe of another. What is your intuition telling you around the way you perceive situations? The way you perceive a person. This is also about, you know, I often find this in relationships, where when you start to believe you really know someone, you start getting a fixed perspective of that person. I don't know why I'm telling you this, it's important, but when you do that, you start boxing someone in. When you start saying they always are like this or they're never like that. The beauty of any bond in our life when it comes to relating is maintaining a certain loving innocence towards letting someone grow and evolve and not being fixated on this is the way they're always going to be. Allow yourself to open around what you perceive in others, which is a direct reflection of how you perceive yourself. All right. I don't know why, that just had to be said. The challenge, curiosity of thought. This is the Page of Swords. Look at that. The challenge is this month, can you let yourself be filled with just the idling of your own curiosity? He's just playing an imaginary game, okay? He's just laying in the grass and he's playing with his plane and he's imagining himself as a pilot. So this is about your imagination and your mind wanderings. If you give yourself that time, right? It's like, imagine the possibilities. What is impossible is possible. And I think you're being challenged by that notion. And it could have to do about releasing judgment around another person and really honoring what your intuition is telling you. Your true intuition. Okay? What's the recent past? Ooh, the experience of spirit. This is a night energy, the experience. We move from a state of curiosity into the experience, okay, of something. So this is the Knight of Wands. So you definitely have, in the past, have learned, right, what it's like to experience your own excitement, your own passion, your own inner drive. I think that this is about you going out into the world and not being afraid of your fire. We're going to go deeper into that. The experience of you being completely you. Justice of divine truth. There's some sort of message this month for you. I'm getting a winged message. Something that's coming from a higher perspective. Something that's going to create a truth in your life. Look at that. There's some sort of truth that's going to be revealed, Leo. Wow. We're going to find out what that is. The near future, we have the Nine of Somatics. This is the Nine of Pentacles. I love this. She's working with the peacock. Look at that. This is about really, like, and we say peacocking, I don't mean that in the negative way. Like, let's just, be all arrogant. This is the embodiment of material abundance, success, feeling free-spirited. I think there's something that's going to release you this month around your own personal sovereignty and your own personal freedom. Something's going to come into balance. You could be even looking at a legal situation where justice will be served here. But it also feels deeper than that, where it's about your own perspective is shifting around a situation. Yeah, you're trying to come out of any kind of block. This is the Two of Swords. You could be putting a stop to a situation, Leo. We'll see what that's about. Hidden truth, we're going to go here, and we're going to save that for later. There's something that you are removing the blindfold around something. The lemur here is a very intelligent creature, okay? I think this is about you being guided by your own wisdom, releasing judgment of self or another or a situation, coming into true balance, remaining curious, using your imagination, working with your own inner desires, seeing them manifest out into the world and creating a lot more abundance. You could be really inspired to increase your monetary success this month and to keep plugging away at it. And whatever limiting beliefs that are in the way, you're working through those. All right, your intuition is really guiding you, though, to release judgment. Yeah, you might be manifesting your way out of releasing some sort of ending of a chapter in your life where, it was time to move on. You could have recently have moved on from something. Sometimes we manifest endings without even realizing it. You're moving forward in your manifestations, though. One chapter ended and a new chapter begins. One more shuffle. Ooh, a new chapter begins in love, Leo. You've got a partner by your side, or you're looking at the exchange of love. You've got some blocks along the way. What's going on here? Two of Swords. Why is it Two of Swords here? What is blocked? Blocked energy. What is this blocked energy? Ooh, this is about you and you. All right, we have the Seven of Wands, we have the Nine of Wands, and we have the Page of Cups. This is about maintaining your own individuality when you are in a connection, lest you give away your power, okay? I do believe, especially with this release of judgment, a lot of you spend a lot of time catering to the needs of others, okay? This is about maintaining those healthy boundaries this month so you make time for yourself to work on your own self-care. And sometimes we use the excuse of, well, this person needs this person needs that. I don't have time to put myself first. You know what? You're not going to do that this month because it's not balanced. Leo, your task is to come out of any state of restriction that prevents you from taking care of yourself first. It's that whole, when the oxygen mask comes down and the mother has to get first so she can take care of her child. If you don't take care of yourself, who's going to take care of you? I think that you are very hard on yourself too around your own self-care. And that sometimes you get in your own way around that. I'm getting these blocks. This blocked energy is you sometimes spinning your wheels and spreading yourself so thin that at the end of the day, there's not much left for you. Because Spirit is indicating, how do you love yourself? How do you show yourself love every day? And that's something that I'm learning. And it's kind of radical because I've been in my life where I put a lot of the needs of others before my own. As a mother, as a business owner, as a caretaker, as a tarot reader. And here's the thing. The more we actually give to ourselves. Yesterday, it took everything in me. I was laid down, okay, by the eclipse. It's like, can you surrender to what your body is telling you it needs? And not saying, you know what, I don't have time for that right now. Body, go away. I don't have time for you. That's the thing. Yesterday I surrendered and I slept for 15 hours. I feel fabulous today. And if I didn't, I could have really run myself to the ground. So I think you're working on, I think you're putting so much work out there physically, okay, in your work hours or in your family life, whatever is your work. If you do not balance that out this month, with your own self-care, your own self-love, you're not going to feel good. And this is saying no to the people, places, and things that are going to prevent you from that. Not making that as an excuse. I'm telling you, we all do it. I'm not getting down on you, Leo. I'm just saying, what are the ways you tend to block your own self-care? And you make up excuses because you feel or perceive other people pulling on you when you actually need to claim that for yourself, that time. I think it's going to be crucial for you, Leo, that you do the practices that you need to do for your body. You could be going through some healing around your own body and balancing out your emotions, okay? Recent past, Two of Pentacles. You could have had some instability in your friend group. Okay, we have the Two of Pentacles, the Three of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. I think sometimes you have a hard time. What I'm seeing in the past is you're having a hard time being your true self when it comes to some of your connections. Showing up in an authentic way. And even sometimes saying no. This is about, it's hard. It's hard to stay true to your own needs when you surrender it to the thoughts and the feelings of the family or a group mindset in your community. This is about coming together and celebrating with your community and showing up as you, as the beautiful Leo that you are. And I think that you've been learning how to do that, how to have excitement and to really be 100% your authentic self in your connections, in the way you relate to other people. No longer you're going to be like, you know what I mean? I think that sometimes we put on masks, right? When we go out into the world. I had a friend tell me this, especially when it comes to our deepest connections. It's hard enough out there in the world and society, right? We have to put on a coat, a cloak. Sometimes we have to guard our energy. We can't always feel safe to be who we truly are. But for the people that are closest to us, you want to be able to take that coat off and come home and be you. And if you feel like you can't do that, you're putting up safeguards around that this month, and you're coming out of any kind of denial around the ways that you sacrifice self for other people. You don't need to put on that coat when you come home. Letting your true authenticity shine is going to be the energy that you're going to need to propel you forward to come out of any instability. There is some instability in some of your connections in the recent past, and I think they've gotten better, but only through you being completely authentic, showing up who you truly are. All right, so the opportunity for the month, we have the Magician, the Knight of Cups, and the Four of Pentacles, clarifying justice. There's some sort of divine manifestation. There's something coming towards you, Leo, where you're holding on tight. You're holding on tight. I think you're trying to bring balance to a love opportunity. But there's fear. And if you were manifesting from a place of fear, this is what I mean here. If you are not listening to what your true intuition is guiding you to do, instead you're listening to your fears. You could be manifesting from a place of resistance around really feeling love. Again, it all comes back to self. There's something coming into true balance here. And it's the way you show up for yourself. Are you willing to be who you truly are in the world? You have a love opportunity that you have manifested this month. For those of you who are single, but if you let fear guide you, you have a choice. You can let fear guide you when it comes to opening up your heart to another, or you can recognize that this was a gift from the universe. And if you can trust yourself, everyone is being plagued by self-doubt this month and uncertainty and questioning. And Spirit is saying, you have what it takes not to do that. Do you want to do that? Do you want to overly judge a situation? There's discernment and then there's just nonsense thinking. You need to be guided truly by connecting to your intuition. And you can't get there if you don't spend time listening to your intuition. I think that you have fears coming up around a connection. And you're really trying to bring balance back to the situation. And the challenge is, like I said before, remaining curious, not putting that person in a box or allowing them to have a fixed perspective of this is who you are. And how many times do we get into arguments thinking this will never change? It's that fixed thinking that can just derail a bond, whether it's love or, well, it's love anyway, right? Because it's all love, whether it's romantic or platonic. The only way you're going to get there is by honing in and being true to yourself and putting up those boundaries of self-care. It's in those soft, tender moments where we're taking care of ourselves truly. Do we get the downloads and the answers that we need to progress forward and trust our decision-making? People are going to be faced with massive decision-making this month. You have to go within to know what to do. Remaining curious. Using your imagination. Not being controlled by fear in your manifestations. You have the opportunity to get back on the same page with somebody. Things have been a bit off. Fear has been kicking up. It is it is hard. I'm telling you, you're going to get challenged this month. Everyone is. To bring stability back to something where you have not always been honoring yourself, where you have not always been authentically true to what you think and feel. Going with, what someone else wants of you. Kind of being passive. This isn't the time to be aggressive with expressing of self. This is the time to be truly who you are. Honing in on your intuition, not overly judging yourself or another. Trying to get back on the same page is going to be the challenge this month, and dropping the burden. There's some hidden emotions that are going to be resurfacing from the past in a connection. And it's going to feel a little bit icky. Okay? It's things that we need to release. Retrograde season is a time where things are going to resurface that feel like old energies, old emotions. And you'll be like, ew, no. You're going to want to just shut it down. But something is coming back around again. So it can be brought back into balance. And it has a lot to do with seeing someone you're with or a friend or a family member in a new light. Recognizing they're doing the best they can. They may fail you. They may not always show up for you. But can you surrender to the truth that if you really love this person, they really love you, that they're trying? I do believe that whoever you're with, as much as there's unknowns here and as hard as it is, can you bring things back together in the spirit of teamwork? The challenge is being on the same page with someone and not seeing them as a villain, not seeing them as someone who's out to get you or out to hurt you. I'm getting that strongly. There's an opportunity to release. I think someone shows up in a way, Leo, in your life where like they sometimes have a tendency to overpower you. And I think that you're trying to gain or regain your own power. almost like I think you're going to look at yourself in the mirror and go, why have I made these decisions? It's almost like you're reckoning with a part of yourself that allowed other people to take advantage of you. Not from a place of victimhood, from a place of serving a lesson. How you love yourself is how you teach others to love you. This is a profound awakening. The owl medicine, the butterfly metamorphosis, and the eagle vision. With the parrot of innocence. They're all here to bring you the truth. What's this future energy? The Nine of Pentacles. And a lot of this too has to do with the work that you're doing out in the world. Being guided by your intuition and what you're manifesting. A lot of this does have to do with your love life and allowing love in and not being afraid of the blocks that arise in a connection. Being truly empowered. But some of you, this has to do with you creating something new that's yours. Some of you are creating a new business. Okay, and this is about making very important decisions around that business. Who are you going to collaborate? Who can you trust? Because a lot of business mindset is creating the contracts, the people, right, that support you in your endeavors, the clients or the other practitioners, the, what do you call them? The independent contractors that you need to do your work. Building a team that you can rely on. Yeah. I think more importantly is you've invested a lot in a connection, Leo. A lot. A hell of a lot. And I think that you've sacrificed yourself a good bit in this connection. And there are some fears that are going to spike this month and a desire for you to no longer sacrifice parts of yourself for this connection. And I think you're going to be making some important judgment calls here, honing in on your intuition, because now we have in the near future around your Nine of Pentacles energy, around you manifesting what is abundant for you. And then you're showing me that you have a very deep soul bond with the Six of Cups. Seven of Pentacles is that energy of I am reassessing whether this still holds value for me because I'm getting pummeled. There's some sort of Ten of Swords energy here, Leo, around what you need to surrender in a connection so it can be more fruitful. There's something around the way this person is showing up. You're being required to look at it with innocent eyes, not victimhood eyes. I think that you're going to be releasing some blocks in a soul contract. It's like the hardest parts are done. Like you've been through some stuff has gone down in this contract. And I think that you're looking at the ways that this person has hindered your growth and also has aided in your growth. And can you take the things that have hurt you and transform them? It's like, no, this is showing me your resiliency, Leo. And listen, it's great to be resilient, but you have to make those decisions this month. And this is the month that there's going to be people that that are being eclipsed out of our lives. This is someone, it doesn't mean it's like if you're in a romantic union, it doesn't mean it's that person. Who is it in your life who is a fated contract in your life? Friend, family member, partner, where it has run its course. Where you were looking at it and going, my intuition is telling me that this situation needs to shift. I've done X, Y, Z to try to make it better. It's not changing. Really evaluate who is here in your life for you and who isn't. Who is standing in the way of you feeling fruitful and who is actually supporting your fruitfulness. You're going to be looking at a lot of different people in your life, Leo, this month, and also reassessing these contracts. Which is staying, which is going. This is a huge period of reevaluation. I think it's not just one person. I think it's all the people in your life. And what needs to shift where you actually put the focus on you and your own self-care and your own self-love. Because the more you do that, it's like when you start vibing out of a frequency that tolerates people hurting you, the only way to vibe out of that is by putting your needs first. Okay? And it's not selfish. It's selfless, right? I think you are going to realize some things that have been a little bit hidden, that it's time to end whatever burden is in your life. The challenge of, can this be brought back together? Are we going to get on the same page? Whoever this is that you're questioning, because you are questioning something. And you're trying to remove the block because somewhere along the way you started to surrender yourself, your own self-care even. What's the hidden truth? Oh, okay, well, that's beautiful. This is a very unique card. I think that some of you are holding on to a connection this month where you've weathered a lot with this person. And you're going to be clearing out some old debris, okay? Things have to come back into balance. However you've been operating in this connection, it must change. And I think you're worried that if you were really true to yourself, that it's going to ruffle someone else's feathers and it's going to create... Sometimes we avoid saying the things that we need to say because we don't want to start a fight. You can say what you need to say from a place of love, from a place of loving self. And if that results in something ending, so be it. But are you honoring yourself? It's like you're taking a cold, hard look at how you're operating in a connection and how you deny your intuition. Remaining ever so curious about something coming together is a beautiful thing, but it takes two. And the thing that I'm seeing here that I love is the hidden truth is safe, supported love. This is the card in the deck that is different than any other deck. It's the number 22. She created this card to reflect two otters loving each other, building a safe cocoon. Do you have this? Do you feel safe being vulnerable with this person? Can you be your true self? Or are you repressing self? We know what it's like to repress self. It doesn't feel good. It feels like we're not who we're supposed to be. So if you are repressing yourself in a connection and you're allowing yourself to get hurt, I think that you're taking a look at, is this safe, supported love? Is it? That's the question. Is this safe, supported love? Let's see. Let's clarify. Is it? That's what you're asking yourself this month. Ooh. And you're saying, you know what? I've taken a lot of time to consider this, Jenna. And you know what? It may not be. I've waited and waited and waited and waited, and it may not be. You could be walking away either from the emotion of disappointment because someone has let you down, Leo, and you're waiting on things to get better. See, listen, it's not that it's impossible with certain contracts to actually transform the energy. It's who are you working with here? Are they self-aware? Do they take responsibility for their part? Are they willing to look at their shadow, to surrender their shadow? It takes two. And I think this month you're looking at the impediments to the growth in a connection. And you're doing your part, Leo. Are they? Because you could realize at the end of the day that you could be waiting on something that may never come to pass. Is this safe, supported love? You are reevaluating that in a connection. Let's look at what you don't see coming for the month. King of Cups, Queen of Wands. I think you're coming into balance in your heart space here, regardless of a connection. Some of you are deeply committed to making things work in a connection. Coming out of blocks to love. Others of you are realizing this is not safe, supported love, Jenna, and I'm reevaluating this connection this month and it's not what I want. You're going to see the truth regardless. You're going to face the truth, and a lot of it has to do with self-love. And you're going to need time. Yeah, you're wrapping up a cycle. That's why. This is an important cycle. Yeah, where you're like, you know what? I'm fine on my own. I can come into balance on my own. Thank you very much. I think you're realizing that you have what it takes to create your own abundance, to be in a place of divine truth and balance. You're opening up into a new cycle here. What you don't see coming is some of you are deciding to be emotionally emancipated from a situation. Others of you, this is about your own emancipation in your career. So you can start working on your own and releasing the commitment to a career where you've been surrendering a lot of your own happiness, displeasure, right, in your work life. But for the most part, I do believe this is you showing up authentically, truthfully as yourself in a love bond, whether it's family or romantic or friendship. You're recognizing a certain truth this month and evaluating whether a certain contract still holds value for you. Is it going to be fruitful for you, or is it just beating a dead horse? You may decide this month, the divine justice here is for me to say no, to walk away, to take care of myself, and to be on my own. Okay, let's get some advice from Spirit. What's the advice? Either way, you're wrapping up a cycle where you've learned a lot about your own sovereignty and about your own ability to create your own independence. It's like this is the shift between thinking you need something to be okay to knowing you're fine on your own. You're ending codependent patterns. And I think if you're starting to evaluate if this is someone who's going to be codependent on you, you can't keep continuing operating in this kind of dynamic. It's not healthy for you. Knight of Cups, yeah. I think you're there. Yep. You've been weathering a lot of I think you're getting tired of the way things have been in a connection. And you're actually changing how you operate, and it's changing everything. Almost as if you're like, okay, if you put up with a lot with somebody, you're like, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not putting up with that. And some of you are a bit stressed about whether you should stay or go, or whether you should continue to offer love in this situation. Your advice from Spirit is, if you are in a constant state of anxiety around a connection, chances are you need to drop it, that you'd be better off letting it go. Okay? Some of you are moving away from a love opportunity to continue to pour your heart and soul into something because it's not serving you anymore. And it's time to go at it alone. In order to come back into balance, either way, whether you stay or leave a situation, you need to spend more time in solitude this week, this month, which will give you the empowerment to move forward. Okay? And you will be able to hone in on your intuition. Let's get I think you're going to be faced with an important judgment call. Oh, you got the same card as Sag. Ladybug, which is luck is on your side. So I think as you go into this month, I feel like you have a lot of luck in your work life, but you're struggling in some sort of soul bond. You're really struggling with being true to yourself in it and saying things that need to be said. You don't want to rock the boat, but you know what? Sometimes the boat must be rocked, because if you're not building safe, supported love, then what are you doing? Okay? It's not healthy for you, Leo. Often we overlook the small wins and joys that come with everyday blessings, especially when they become part of our routine. The Ladybug reminds us to stay present, open our senses, and recognize the blessings along the path. Seek the guidance of the Ladybug to remain true to yourself. I'm telling you, it's a very similar message to Sag. Are you remaining true to yourself, Leo? Take small and meaningful steps that align with your inner wisdom this month. Listen to your intuition, connect with your dreams, and move forward with gratitude and thanks. These small steps, when combined, have the power to greatly influence your future. In moments of adversity, remember not to give up, as a stroke of luck may just be around the corner. Keep moving forward, believing in yourself, and trusting the journey. Embrace the power of taking small steps this month, Sag. Trust in the vast potential of the universe and believe that great things await you. Remember, you hold the ability to create an abundant future filled with blessings and prosperity. That's the thing. Sometimes we have to make important decisions around what is going to help bring in abundance, success, happiness, fulfillment, joy. And I think this month you are starting to realize what is going to help you along your path and what is going to hinder you. You do have luck on your side, regardless of what you decide to do. Okay? I think that you are definitely figuring out what you need to remain emotionally independent. I think you have a lot of fear governing you around another. And it's time to stop being so afraid. Whatever you're afraid of, I think you're confronting it this week. You may get some sort of opening to take a new path. Okay, Leo? That's going to take you away from some sort of bond that you know may not be something either you want. Some people, it's about returning to something that ended, reevaluating, starting over with someone where it's a reconciliation. I see that. Others of you, you're recognizing that no matter how much effort I put into this, how much I invest, I'm not yielding the growth and the expansion that I need, whether it's in your work or a work connection or a love connection. Okay? This is removing the blocks to building the abundance and the success. You do have luck here. It's just a matter of, what do you need to surrender? What do you need to walk away from in order to create the life and the abundance that you seek? A lot of it comes down to how you love yourself, and that will be your ticket. That will be your ticket to knowing the right decisions this month, okay? But I do believe that you're turning your back on somebody. It's going to stress you out. But you're turning toward self in your own sovereignty, in your own emotional independence, okay? And if you doing that makes some people fall away from your life, then it is what it is. Okay? Leo, I'm sending you love.